Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the Hen's Tooth Cafe. Today on the breadboard we have a circuit that I picked out of eBay. It's a pedal called the Iron Butterfly wah. It's a fuzz wah. Fuzz in front of the wah circuit. And one backstory I heard about this was that it was built for Iron Butterfly the band, and they didn't have interest in it. So anyway, there's not very many of them. I've only seen two of them on the internet. One which is for sale on eBay, and the one on eBay there, the guy had taken some really close-up shots of the guts, and I managed to pick out all the resistors, and it's the way it was wired point to point. You could figure out, I figured out how the circuit went. There's just a couple of capacitors that I just couldn't see the values, so I'm just guesstimating here. So I've got it on the breadboard right now, and with a inductor out of a Crybaby 500 millihenry. So the controls are dwell, which adjusts the bias of the second transistor on the fuzz circuit. You have a weird tone control, which almost acts as a tone / volume control. Treble on one side, bass on the other. But as you go to the middle, you have the transition point, treble to bass in the middle, but the volume lowers as you go to the middle. So if you're full treble, you got the full blast treble going. As you turn it down to the middle, you'll start losing the volume, and then you'll hear the transition to the bass, and as you keep going, then the volume comes back up and you got full bass. Personally, I haven't been at this long enough to have ever seen that before. It's the first time I've run into that. Transistors I'm using are just your run-of-the-mill 2N 3904s. I did try some old BC 147s in there, and it sounded a little tiny bit gnarlier, but I'm just going straight 3904s for today. Green poly caps and metal film resistors. We're just going to go just with the fuzz right now. I'll start at full treble with the bridge pickup. The dwell control at 0 really gives you like a gated. So a really gated fuzz, and as you turn it up, its best spot where it's got the most sustain and volume is right around between 10 o'clock and noon, which would be between, I'd say, 3.5 and 5. And you got a nice little octave overtone on the decay. Reminds me, especially if you cut the gate, if you cut it back a little bit and you get that gating, reminds me a little bit of a super fuzz. Super fuzz without the octave. If you turn the dwell all the way up, you'll get the sustain, but you lose some of the volume. I'm going to keep it around 3 or 4. now. So, you know, we got to play the riff if we want to hear what it sounds like. Neck pickup. Kind of mellows the fuzz out a little bit. Back to the bridge. So I'll show you what the tone control does. I'm at full treble right now, and I'll sweep down to full bass. Whoa, big volume loss. That's what I was talking about. The bass is really muffled, but it may or may not be by design, because you do have the wah afterwards. So I think it's a little bit of give and take there. You might lose something on one side, but when you kick the wah in, you can get it back in other audio ways. So no, that wasn't the fuzz. That was my multimeter turning off. But I really like the full-on treble. I mean, it's just and if you bypass the tone section, if you go straight out of the right after the second section, if you if you pull out the two 4.7K resistors and the 0.05 and 0.01 caps, it really boosts up the volume. Then I would say you need a volume control on it. So let's try the fuzz into the wah now. I've got it wired into a Crybaby with a 100K hot pots too. So full treble, bridge pickup. The dwell, I'm not going to play with it anymore. I got it where it's best, where it's max sustain and volume. So you get a volume boost with the wah, and it really the treble really pops. Let's go to full bass. So it's really the bass side of the tone control is actually more usable with the wah than it is on its own with the fuzz. With the fuzz, it's too muffled. Let's gate down. I'm going to try doing this again. You can get almost like a synthy sound out of it. Full treble. I'm going to turn the dwell control down. I did that. I was playing around with that before. So that's by turning the dwell control down and getting that gate effect, and then you can play around with your wah. So you can get a really harsh sounding treble out of it with the wah toe all the way down and full treble. So there you go. That's the iron butterfly wah circuit. Haven't seen too many around, but like to thank the guy on eBay there for posting all those gut shots and at least giving us a little glimpse as to what it sounds like. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Hen's Tooth Cafe. Come again soon. We're always here. Have a good day.